It is Friday, and you know what that means. Our beloved Friday night tradition. It is time for Scott. And here's shooting a helicopter blade, which my guess is Scott is testing a Hollywood ballistics theory. That's my suspicion. His rationale behind this is he's testing the theory of the scenes that you see in Hollywood where there's a bad guy in helicopter and the good guy shoots the blades of the helicopter and that takes it down because it shoots off the blade or it shoots through the blade and the blade no longer works or something like that. That's my guess as to what he's doing here of why he would even shoot a helicopter blade in the first place. So, it's time for the boom.
So, where did you get a helicopter?
Facebook Marketplace.
Right.
I believe this. I actually believe Scooter might have gotten a helicopter from Facebook Marketplace. Legit, I think he could actually get one from Facebook Marketplace.
And have you had it inspected or anything?
What do you work for, the air police or something?
Do you even have a pilot's license?
Maybe I would if I was a square.
Oh, God.
Is that one of the blades?
What's up,
Oh,
everybody?
God.
My name is Scott, and you're watching Kentucky Ballistics. And over the years, I have shot some really interesting objects, but I think this one may take the cake. Today, we have an actual helicopter blade. You may be wondering where I got a helicopter blade, and today,
Don't ask questions.
I have to say, mind your own beeswax. This thing is surprisingly heavy and is actually thicker than I thought it would be. Now up here, it is quite thin. It is a very thin edge, but towards the top of this, where it attaches to the helicopter, you can see that this is pretty beefy. So today we are going to set up this helicopter blade and we are going to shoot it with multiple calibers and see what it can stop and what it cannot stop. But before we get started with that, I got something else to show you.
So he's literally just doing this for the love of the game. Respect. He's not testing the Hollywood theory, and he's just like, I got my hands on a helicopter blade. Don't ask questions. Now we're going to shoot it. I'm in.
I also have a literal helicopter. I'm sure by now you know I have written a book. It is called Boom Pow, I'm Braver Now, and it's about being strong and courageous even during hardships and failures in life, and it is inspired by my 50 cal accident. I have been super excited about this book and partnering with Brave Books, but what I've been most excited about is the cause behind it. A portion of every book sold goes to the Parker Project to help families whose children are fighting cancer. And now we have a big goal that I am super excited to try and tackle with you. We have a family and we are trying to raise enough money to pay for their rent for an entire year so they can just focus on their child and their battle. And you can help me hit that goal by picking up a book with the link in the description down below. And if we hit that goal, we are going to destroy my helicopter. So be sure and pick up one of my books. Actually, while you're at it, why don't you pick up two? It's a win-win. You're helping a good cause and you're going to get to see a helicopter get destroyed. And speaking of destroyed, let's go ahead and get to shooting that blade. So today I've decided to go in reverse order. Instead of starting out with something small, we're going to go ahead and start out with something quite big. This
He's starting with the Lynx.
Lynx 50 BMG bullpup semi-automatic rifle, and I'm going to be loaded up with 2 rounds of 50 BMG 660 grain full metal jacket.
Nice. Wait, so we're blowing our. Not sure how I feel about it. We're blowing our load right out of the gate. I'm not sure I approve of this. Like, this was the 50 is supposed to be the grand finale. Why are we going early? This feels like premature ballistication. Not sure I approve of this. And yes, the pause. Of course, the pause. No horror play? I'm disappointed.
Let's go with the thick end first. Here we go.
Good night.
I think I went through it. I tell you what, I'm gonna aim a little more to the left. Let's see if we can get the thicker spot. Here we go.
That deflected.
Whoa, let's go
I
check
think that
out.
deflected.
So we have 2 good hits. One right here, and we clearly made it through. And then this one, wow, that actually looks pretty cool. If you get real close, that's a pretty cool hole.
Hey, nice. Win. Through 3.
We have a fresh spring flower over here. Look at this. That
Holy shit. Honestly, that looks beautiful. Like, no joke. The way it flowered out like that is actually kind of beautiful. It really is.
wild. So there's just layers
Is that
to
Kevlar?
this blade, I guess, and it peeled them all out. This one, we just had a little hole for the exit hole, but this one right here, big exit hole. And it kind of smells like old body armor when you shoot an old military plate.
Okay, so it is kind of Kevlar.
Up next, we have the almighty 416 Rigby, aka the 416 Honey Badger, because it don't care. And I'll be loaded up with a 350 grain hot core.
Hot core. Hey, hey.
All right, here we go. 416 Rigby.
I think that went through.
The round may be slightly smaller than 50 BMG, but it kicks way harder. We have a
Look.
hit in between our two 50 BMG hits. Right
Nice.
there. And again, we blew through the helicopter blade. Guess I'm gonna
Very
start marking
nice.
these just so I know which ones are new and which ones are old.
You should have gotten a white paint stick.
Okay. Okay. All right, 50 BMG and 416 Rigby will blow through a helicopter blade. Let's keep going. Working our way down the ladder, up next is going to be a SOCOM 16 chambered in 308.
Okay, that is beautiful. That is a lovely gun. That is, correct me if I'm mistaken, I believe, correct me if I'm mistaken, is this not based off of the M1? It's a SOCOM cut down version. Yeah, based off of the M1 Garand. I'm almost sure that this is what it's based off of. Or it's the M14. God, I'm screwing up my screwed up my nose. Yeah, the M14. But the M14 is basically a carbine version of the M1, correct? Am I remembering my manufacturing history that the M14 was literally based off of the M1, but it was a cut down carbine version for for easy reload and yeah. That's the tanker grant? I don't know. Yeah, 14 has the mag. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. God, that's beautiful.
308, and I'll be loaded up with some Hornady 178 grain rounds. All right. Here we go. Man, I feel like when I'm hitting it, I'm seeing a flash. I shot right next to the...
Hang on. Let's see. Do we see a flat? Unfortunately, we're not getting slow-mo cal on this. Hang on. Yup. There it is. You see it? We are getting a flash. Right there. And I'm guessing that's just a steel-on-steel flash. Yup. We are essentially getting like a a friction flash there from steel on steel contact. Mm-hmm. He does have a good high-speed camera. My guess is he probably doesn't have it set up because at the lower calibers, there's a risk of ricochet. And he probably doesn't want to, he probably would have to set up the high-speed camera kind of close. And it maybe for whatever reason, he feels like it can't be saved. Or maybe he just doesn't have it today. It's entirely possible that he doesn't have his slow-mo camera today.
Man, I feel like when I'm hitting it, I'm seeing a flash. I shot right next to the 416 Rigby. We have a good hit. It's actually kind of weird looking. It's not a perfect hole. And then we have another tiny little flower on the back of our helicopter blade. I'm starting to think the helicopter blades aren't very tough. Up next is going to be an AK guy, AK-47. My friend Brandon Herrera actually made this for me, and it is stinking sweet. Suppressed, and we are loaded up with 2 rounds of full metal jackets, 7.62 by 39. I'm going to do 1 round in the thickness and 1 round on the thin side. Here we go.
Nice.
On the thin side. So our first round.
I didn't even see where that hit.
Here, and I think we may have our first stop. We have a hole right here. Very clear hole. Yep. And it stopped.
You know what? That makes sense. It honestly makes sense why it wouldn't go through, because you have to remember this helicopter blade, I'm guessing, is probably from like the 70s or 80s. At just a guess. And that would have been this helicopter blade was probably made around the time of the Vietnam War. And what were the Viet Cong armed with? What were the North Vietnamese armed with? They were armed with AK-47s. So it makes sense that the helicopter would be constructed in a way with like its integral armor layering to try and prevent AK rounds from going through it. So honestly, they kind of make sense. And I would speculate, if the blade was not old and the blade was actually new and all of the internal layering was still fresh and new, maybe, just maybe, the armor would actually have been able to prevent the AK round from penetrating in the first place, perhaps. Possibly. I don't know. I'm speculating, but it's a possibility.
It stopped the 7.62 by 39. That.
Chirpy. Oh, baby. No, baby. Bring that tongue to me later. I have use for that tongue later.
Is very interesting, but it did not stop it over here. I hit right there, and it very clearly hit the berm. I saw it hit. Yeah, there's a tiny little hole right there. So far, we have learned that a helicopter blade will not stop a 50 BMG or an elephant rifle or anything like that, but it will stop a 7.62 by 39. Up next, we're going to use an AR-15. This is a Q Sugar Weasel, and I'm loaded up with 2 rounds of 5.56 full metal jackets. Again, I'm going to go 1 round in the thickness and 1 round in the thinness. Here we go. There. And 1 over there.
Nice.
Check it out. We hit right here with the 5.56. Oh. Okay, well, the 5.56 made it through, but I think just barely. That's not a very...
But that's a flower. Ooh, that flowered better than the other 2 high calibers. Ooh, that flowered better than the 308 and the 416. Interesting. And it's deeper in where theoretically this should be thicker. Very interesting.
Not a very big exit hole. So that is interesting because we stopped the 7.62, but we did not stop the 5.56. I figured if it would have stopped that one, it should have stopped the 5.56.
Which lends me to believe that it's deterioration of the internal armor layering. this is actually kind of lending credence to my theory that because the blade is old, the interior plating layers have deteriorated over time in a non-uniform way. So it's some parts of this blade, especially in the thicker area, that the armor is maybe like where the AK hit was more substantial, whereas the deterioration in some of these other areas was more substantial. That's my current running theory. Maybe not so much rusting, but like oxidation, perhaps. The seals aren't as maybe like the welds and the seals aren't as airtight, so there's maybe oxidation that may have deteriorated the armored layers and caused them to be less effective, perhaps. Again, that's my theory. Yeah, I could be dead fucking wrong, but that's my suspicions.
Also, and then we have a hit over here, and of course we made it through with the 5.56.
Yeah.
Up next, we're going to use some shotguns, and we're going to start out with my favorite flavor of shotgun, 10 gauge, and this is one of my favorite shotguns, an Ithaca 10 gauge semi-automatic with a short barrel, and we have a 10 gauge slug and 10 gauge double-aught buck.
Is Abby good?
All right, now for the slug.
Thank God.
I hit it. Here we go. Well,
He did.
See from here, pretty sure we made it through.
Don't eat Scott! No, Ed, leave Scott alone. We love Scott. Ed, you can't have him. He's mine. I will fight you for an Ed. I will fight you.
We had a good hit with the buckshot and the slug. Looks like it stopped some of this buckshot. Like that
actually makes sense.
There was no hole. Stop there.
That makes sense.
I mean, that one made it through. That one almost did not make it through. And then the slug, 100% made it through.
Dying.
Blade. Actually, if you look right.
Actually, hang on. Let me see. Hang on. I want to see that exit.
Made it through that.
Interesting. Look at that. Look at that exit hole there. Oh, it didn't flower like the rounds did. Now, of course, it is shotgun slug, so it's not moving as a height, so it might be the lower speed of the slug, and it just brute forced its way out instead of using velocity. But ooh, that's impressive. That's very. It's actually it's not like it peeled it. It kind of just like shattered it. It's fascinating.
Helicopter blade. Actually, if you look right here, there is a buckshot round buried in there and just stuck in that blade. Up next is going to be a 12 gauge shotgun. This is a Remington 887, and I'm loaded up with a slug, buckshot, and birdshot. Let's see what happens. Birdshot is up first.
Shot.
I'm going to go ahead and just pepper the thinnest side because it's pretty obvious that that side is pretty weak. So here we go. Birdshot. That actually looks pretty cool.
It does look cool.
Buckshot. And now the slug.
Why? I think that went through.
I think we may have stopped it. Starting down on this
Really?
end, we hit it with birdshot. And this side is actually really weak, but it stopped the birdshot. Then moving on down.
Makes sense.
We hit it with the buckshot. It looks like it stopped most of those. So buckshot did not do a very good job. And then I'm pretty sure it stopped the slug also. I hit right next to another hit. I believe that was 223. But slug went in there. And this is the exit hole from the 223 or some other caliber. But there is no exit hole for the buck. I mean slug. There's no exit for the slug.
I would postulate that it did. I want to postulate that it did. I think when the slug hit on the far side, I think because the hole was already present, I think it actually went through the same hole. Look at the one side. It went through here, and I'm going to postulate it came out this hole. It was slightly off-centered, yes, but it's path of least resistance, and so I think it came in here and then deviated out this hole. Yeah, I think that is far more likely. I think maybe it did impact here. I can't remember if this was here prior. I don't hang on. Let's find out. Chat, remember 1004. Let's see here. Hang on. Hang on. Ah. Okay. All right, so this was the hole that the 416 Rigby did. That's the hole the 416 Rigby did. And so this is a tough call. Cause this was not there with the with that 556. Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry, you're right. You're absolutely right. It was the 556. Silver, right? It absolutely was. So this was not present for that. So, it's a tough call. Maybe it went through and kind of bullied its way out, and that caused this to happen. Perhaps I don't know.
Or some other caliber, but there is no exit hole for the buck. I mean slug. There's no exit for the slug. And if you look through this hole, you can clearly see that it did not make it through.
Yeah.
Up next is going to be pistols. And we're going to start out with 500 Magnum. This is actually Demo Ranch's 500 Magnum that I won from him in an arm wrestling contest. It has a 22-inch barrel, I believe. It's a Magnum
God, the
BFR,
choker gun, baby.
Loaded up with some Underwood ammo, 375 grain XPBs. I find it kind of ironic that I'm shooting a helicopter blade with this because it's very similar to the gun the Joker used to shoot down the Batwing.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I can't see my front sight. Oh, there it is.
Got it.
I think I hit it. I believe our new hole is about
right there, well, I think
it's right here.
Yep.
That's
yep.
it there. And when I look on this side, this is also where we already have some holes from previous rounds.
Yeah.
But if I look
it might not have made it.
I'm not seeing anything. I don't see a hole through it. So it looks like
it might not have made it.
The 500 Magnum. Next, we're going to blast this thing with a Desert Eagle. This is a Magnum Research Desert Eagle chambered in 50 AE, and I'm loaded up
baby.
with some 350 grain
the Deadpool gun.
Full metal jackets. Starting to have a lot of holes in this thing, so I'm going to scoot up kind of close.
It's knocking off paint.
Just to make sure I know where I'm hitting. So, all right. Here we go.
Went right there. It hit right there.
I'll tell you what, the Desert Eagle always scares me because it'll flick that brass out straight at you, and I never know if it's the brass or ricochet. Thankfully, every time it's been brass. Wow, okay, stop the Desert Eagle. There's
it hit him. Wait, it hit over there? I was wrong. Okay. I was very wrong. Okay. Alrighty.
Okay, stop the Desert Eagle. There is our hole right there.
Yeah.
And it did not make it through the other side.
Nope. Knock some paint off.
Next, this is a Taurus Raging Hunter with a custom paint job. And I'm loaded up with one round of 44 mag. These are 245 grain full metal jackets. All right.
Hey.
Trying to hit a fresh spot. Here we go.
Oh,
I'm so dumb. I am so
What?
used to shooting like Smith & Wessons, I forgot that this goes the other direction. I do want to point out though, that I did not flinch. All right, let's try again.
Drew? Ooh.
I think we stopped that. So I think we may have found the tough spot on this wing. There's where I hit, and it did not even make it into the wing. Just stopped
Impressive.
it dead in its tracks. Up.
And honestly, it should be no surprise that this is the tough spot of the wing. You're gonna want the part of the blade that is connected to the helicopter to have the thickest armor so it doesn't fall off. I mean, that's kind of logic. You can even see it here in how the design is. You can tell that this is the thickest part right here. It actually thins out slightly in comparison there.
Even make it into the wing. Just stopped it dead in its tracks. Up next is going to be 357, and I have a Coonan 357 Magnum, and I'll be loaded up with 1 round, 125 grain, full metal jacket, 357. Let's see if we can hit it.
Got it.
So it looks like we have a new hit right here.
Yeah.
And
It went in, but didn't go
we did
out.
not make it through. We have a nice little
Yeah.
bulge right here,
Ooh, nice.
but no exit hole. So helicopter blade is 357 Magnum proof. Up next is going to be 10 millimeter, and I have a very interesting 10 millimeter. This is a Keeling
Long slide.
Customs Glock 20 10 mil with a 16-inch barrel, and I'm loaded
Jesus.
up with 5 rounds of 10 mil, 180 grain full metal jackets. All right, here we go. I'm going to just kind of work my way down.
Oh, he's doing multiples.
That sounds pretty cool when it gets hit. I shot 5 times.
Yeah.
Not really sure where I hit over here. This is starting to just kind of be a blur. That might be a new hit. I'm not sure. If it is, that went through. And then that might be a new hit. And if it was, it did not go
Next
through.
time he's
As
got to
we
use a
make our
white
way
paint
down, we
marker.
have 2 holes here, and both of them did not go through. I cannot see through it.
Fluorescent.
And then that one didn't either. We've got a pretty good bulge on the other side. That's kind
Nice.
of surprising because as this thing gets thinner, it is much weaker, and we've seen that it doesn't stop much, but it stopped 10 mil. Let's move on to another caliber. 45 ACP, the Lord's
Here we go.
caliber is
He's really breaking out all the long slides on this one. We definitely like them long and thick, don't we, chats? Oh, absolutely. I could stand a little bit more thickness, but I certainly do appreciate the length. Absolutely.
next, and we have a 1911, but not your average 1911. This is a Keeling Customs 1911 with a 16-inch barrel, and I'm loaded up with 5 rounds of 45 ACP full metal jacket. It only take 1 round of 45 ACP to take one of these.
Oh, no. Darling, you don't have thickness. You have beautiful fullness. Full, slow goodness. But save it for your husband. I'm sure he's very appreciative of your fullness.
Down. Just gotta graze it. Here we go.
Oh, those last ones sounded good.
Yep, that is smoking hot. Oh, that's hot. That is a piece.
You
of the
got a
bullet.
ricochet. Ooh. He got a ricochet on that one.
That bounced off of that thing. Ah! So I am definitely learning that there is something tough in here because those rounds hit it, smushed, and bounced off. Meanwhile, these 3 shots hit and went clean through this blade. So that is...
Okay, it's not that there's something in the blades. It's just that this is just, with a helicopter blade, it thickens out along the spine, even at the quote unquote thinner parts, because you've got the thin part here. Yes, the engineering. It's the helicopter blade is essentially a very thin wedge, with the purpose of it being that it's so thin here, it's literally slicing through the air, and then it kind of wedges up to a thicker spine to basically facilitate lift. So as the blade is slicing through the air, it's moving along the blade, but it's moving in a downward trajectory because of the thickness, creating that kind of thin wedge, and that will give the helicopter its lift. So it's perfectly understandable that the spine would absolutely be thicker than the quote unquote cutting edge of the blade.
Definitely more structurally sound than the rest of the blade, which, I mean, that makes sense. Now we are moving on to the most common pistol caliber in the United States, 9mm. This is a SIG P211 GTO. This thing is slicker than snot. 15 rounds of 9mm full metal jacket. Ooh, let's see what happens. I'm just gonna kind of pepper it all over. Here we go.
Go.
That is a very smooth,
nice,
flat shooting pistol. Well, we have quite a few hits. I think that's new, and it went through. I don't know what that's from. I think, no, that's old. These are new.
Okay.
All of those went through. That did not go through. That did not go through. These did.
Yep. Makes sense on the spine.
That went through. That one did not. So again, it's looking like this part of the blade is a lot tougher. Stop those 9mm rounds, but all of this, it's pretty thin, and they blew right through it.
I designed.
Up next, I have a Ruger 5.7, and I'm loaded up with 10 rounds of 5.7.
Ooh, the 5.7. Ooh, the 5.7. It has a +5 against poor people. It should do well against a helicopter blade.
40 grain rounds. Here we go. Those holes are so small, I'm not really sure if I'm even hitting this thing. Yeah, I'm hitting it. Let's check that out.
That did it.
So I was hitting it. All these tiny little holes right here went through. But again, we get to this thicker spot, and it stopped those, no problem. Last on the list today is 22 long rifle. This is a Ruger Mark IV suppressed, very cool gun. I'm loaded up with 10 rounds of 22 long rifle.
It's just gonna blitz this thing.
This should be fun because it's suppressed. Should sound pretty cool. Here we go.
That metal on metal.
Okay.
That sounded cool.
We managed to make it through this blade with 22 long rifle.
Yikes!
Again, down through here, this is very tough.
Okay, that's impressive. Now, granted, it shouldn't be surprising. I was going to say that's impressive, but honestly, like 22 is such an underappreciated caliber. 22 actually has more penetration than people realize. Don't forget, when we watched that demo ranch video where he was doing that, like, what if you shot into your neighbor's house? What level, like, could you shoot through a refrigerator? And leave us not forget that the 22 LR that Matt used actually went through the side of the house and into the refrigerator. So it's like, people always like, I almost did that myself just now. It's like, people are always like, oh my God, what are you going to do with the 22? It's a 22. What do you care? 22 is a legit caliber. 22 has penetration. The problem is it doesn't have stopping power. It's small and it's got penetration. If used as a defensive weapon, it's not going to cause a significant amount of damage to actually stop someone in a charging attack. And that's why I think 22 is underrated. But people still forget it's got penetrative power. It can get through shit.
And stopping it, but even 22.
Thank you
will
for the
make it through that
subs.
thin
No,
spot. We
thank you
have
very
quite a
much.
few exit holes on this blade. It actually looks really cool, especially when you get down here to the very end. It just looks like a bunch of flowers or something. My question is, with this many holes in this blade, I wonder if it would still function. Anybody that's in the aircraft field, let me know
No,
in the
it would
comment
not.
section down below. So I'm kind of curious.
The biggest problem would be you have so much damage here at the joint. There would be a concern about structural integrity because of the vibrations. Over here, like the damage here on the far end of the blade, it would probably function. All of this is where it hooks up to the helicopter. So that the concern would be the integrity of the joint right here and the vibrations that is going through this blade when it works. No, this would, I don't know if it would flat out shake apart, but yeah, no, this wouldn't function.
Could I take a huge chunk of this wing off? Let's see what we can do with a shotgun. Starting out with some slugs.
Nice.
You just got jammed.
Yeah, I may scoot back just a little bit for this. And I got a jam. That's quite a bit of damage there, but I think it'll really take something to make it through this. But we need to take out this chunk first. Now how about
He actually wants to cut it in half.
I'm going to take out that last little bit there. I got one round left.
That did it.
That's a pretty big hole. I would say
That
that
did
blade
it.
is severely damaged, but I'm wondering if we can actually do some damage right there. Now I have my handy dandy 416 Honey Badger, but take into consideration these are lead rounds made for expansion. So if we don't make it through, it's because they're lead.
Did it? Maybe. Can't tell.
I got one more round in my pocket. Give me one moment. There we go. Let's check that out. So even with the lead 416 Rigby rounds, we are blowing through the thickest part of this helicopter blade.
That did it.
We only lack a little bit. So we don't lack much from this blade just breaking. So I flipped it over and I got some cinder blocks on that end. Let's see what happens when I flex it. Well, it's still got a lot of strength. Dude, that is wild. We have blown through all of this. And here, there's not a whole lot of material left.
That's impressive. It's still standing pat.
On. May not be a good idea. I don't know. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty tough. That is very springy. Maybe I'll use this side. Oh my gosh. That is crazy. All right, I got through there.
Why?
All right. This whole spot is gone. All that's left is that. I don't
Which
really
is the thickest
expect
part.
to make it through this with this axe, but I am just wanting to get a better look at what's in there. So, let it rip, I guess. Can't see me on camera. Good job.
He's doing work. He's doing work.
I'm gonna quit. What is this thing made out of? Some sort of alien material? There's so much pressure on this blade right now, and it's still not breaking.
Goes. Got him.
All right. We managed to finally break the helicopter blade. Let's see what's inside this thing. It's hollow. Look, it is hollow.
Dang.
That is wild.
Holy. Okay, that's impressive. The fact that it was that tough and it's hollow? Very impressive.
Look, it is hollow. That is wild. So, whatever material this is made out of, actually there's a little bit of a bar or something right there, but that's not much. It's mostly hollow.
Yeah, it's a support.
I was not expecting that because this section right here is very tough. And yeah, that's hollow. Huh. I really thought there would have been something in there. Now you know. So when it comes to a helicopter blade, turns out they're fairly tough in certain sections. And if you want to break through one, you're going to need a 50 BMG or a 416 Rigby and a limo. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure and give it a like and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future content.
Caber toss! He caber tossed the helicopter blade.
If you want to pick up a nifty Kentucky Ballistics t-shirt, there's a link in the description down below.
Hey, grab.
And as always, my name is Scott. Thank you so much for watching Kentucky Ballistics. I'll see you next time.
Oh my goodness, that was fantastic. And that was impressive. The way that helicopter blade was standing up to some of those hits. Very impressive, I gotta say. And I had no idea it was hollow like that either. I had no idea that the spine of the helicopter blade, I figured I didn't think it was going to be a heavy grade metal because obviously a helicopter blade needs to be flexible.
Benito is live right now.
But-
if you want to raid a stray.
Okay. I had no idea that I thought that a helicopter, like the spine of a helicopter blade might have, some not exactly heavy metal, but I figured it would be filled in to support the blade. I didn't think it would be hollow like that. Very interesting. Huh.